In question 21, we're given a table which shows information about the heights of 60 students. And in part A, we're asked to draw a cumulative frequency graph. In order to draw the cumulative frequency graph, we have to work out the cumulative frequency. So cumulative means adding together, and the frequency is the number of students. So essentially what we have to do is, almost ignoring the bands that they've created, we almost look at our separate ones and we say, okay, so from between 140 to 150 there were 4. In fact, why don't we actually just write it down here? So essentially what we say is less than 100, so yeah, 140 and less than or equal to 150, there were 4. 140 to 160, so now we're including the next category as well. Well, there's 4 plus 5, which is 9. And essentially we do that all the way down to the bottom. So what we'd end up with, 4 would obviously be the same as the first one. Then we've got 9. After that we've got 16 plus 9, 25. 25 plus 27, 52. 52 plus 5, 57. And then 57 plus 3, 60. And that's a good way to check that you've got it right, because if it's a cumulative frequency table, it will always add up to the total number of students, or whatever it is that they've mentioned in the question. So now what we know is, in order to draw this, what we have to do is we have to plot this almost by these values here. So 154, 169, 170, 25, and so on. So on the next one then, we're going to do exactly so. Let me just move this up. So what we're going to do then is we're going to plot it, and with these cumulative frequency graphs, you always plot it with the highest value of the range that you've got. So if you remember, the first one was 140 to 150, and that was 3. So with that one, we'll plot that. Because it was from 140 to 150, we plot it at the 150. Sorry, it was 4. So what we say is 100. So if we start that just arbitrarily from 0, and then we say, okay, so 150 is 4, 160 then is 9, 170 then is 25, 180 is 52. 190 is 57, and 200 is there at the top, 60. So what we have then is hopefully a nice smooth graph like that. Now what it asks us in part B1 and 2, in part B1 it's asking for the median. The median is the middle value. So if you were to put all the values together in order, it would be the middle value. We've got 60 such values here, so our median will be somewhere over here, and again you have to excuse the accuracy of the graph, but essentially it's going to be there. So that looks like it's 173, so the median height is 173. The interquartile range that it asks for is the upper quartile. So the interquartile range is the upper quartile, so the upper 75th percent, minus the lower quartile, the 25th, so it's the 75th percentile essentially, minus the 25th percentile. And again, the way that we do that is, we know there's 60 students altogether, so 25% of 60 is 15, so we know that around 15 that's going to be our lower quartile. So let's say that's 165, that's the lower quartile. The upper quartile is going to be the 75th percentile, so 75% of 60 is 45, so that's going to be up here somewhere. And again, that, oh sorry, excuse the drawing, but that looks about 177, so that's the upper quartile. So that means the interquartile range, the upper quartile 177 minus the lower quartile 165. So again, just to reiterate, that equals 177 minus 165, which gives us an interquartile range of 12.